All right, class, we are back with the final video of the semester. I do apologize for how late this video is coming out. I have been down for the count sick. Luckily, not COVID related. I just been having some swimmer's ear issue, and then I had lost my voice there for a little bit of time. So I was not able to produce this final video for you. But now I am on the up and up, so I'm going to go ahead and give that to you. Better late than never, because your project is due on Monday. Yay! So let's just hop right on into it. So I did a video as far as how to fill out your Excel spreadsheets. And I haven't really gotten any feedback. I did get one feedback saying that it was a little bit choppy. So I did want to go through really quickly and kind of just run through again how your final project needs to be filled out as far as your Excel portion is concerned. So I'm going to go ahead and run through that really quickly. All right, so as you can see, I have my Division 3 scope of work as well as my audit trail right behind it. That is essentially how you guys are going to be turning this in. You will need to poke holes in your scopes of work because they will need to go into a 3-ring binder. As you can see, here's an example of what it looks like. We used to have them in grade school. Very easy. I think it's like $1 at Walmart, if that. But so jumping into the Excel portion, as you can see, estimate date would be the date that you took it off. And as I said in the previous video, if you took a couple days to fill out your or complete your division, then you would just pick one of those dates. It's fine. The bid date is the date the project is due, which would be May 9th, this coming Monday. Estimator would be your name. The client is to be determined. The designer's already on there, and the sheet number portion is really not that important. So I'm only going to go over Division 3 really quickly. This is what my Excel file looks like. It is asking for my cast in place concrete 24 by 12 reinforced concrete footings. Okay, so I know that the first thing on my scope of work is my footings. Therefore, the very first calculation should be my footings, and it is. I'm only going to put my end numbers here. Okay, I'm not going to put all the work that shows what I did. So for F1, I know I have a quantity of 1. My length is 27.00. I already have it set up to put the 00s in there for you. So if it's just a plain number, you can just type it in. Your width is going to be 2 because we're doing decimal feet, and your height is going to be 1 because we're doing decimal feet. And as you can see, it automatically generated your cubic feet for you. Okay, so then for my footing 2, I have a quantity of 1. I've got 45.5 as my length. That's 2, that's 1. Moving on down, 3 is the exact same. 45.5, 2, 1, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that one's supposed to be a quantity of 1. That is a very simple, easy calculation where, again, I already put the formulas in for you, so you're not really having to do much work here. All right, so as you can tell, I kind of jumped ahead a little bit and filled out the rest of my concrete calculation. I did turn it back on because I wanted you all to see this next part. So now that I have all of my data in here, when you turn it in, I don't want to see any red. Okay, so for those of you who have already turned it in, you might have to resubmit it. Also, if you're missing your header portion on all of your divisions, then I will not accept it. You will have to return it in, or I'll just take points off. Either way, whichever you feel more comfortable with. As you can see, my totals match up with my scope of work. I've got 13.63, 1.04, 2.19, and 16.83. I mean, excuse me, 86, not 83. And that is what matches my Excel file. So your Excel file is just a way for you to double check your work, okay? So moving down to the next portion, I've got my concrete footings. So let's see, it says my reinforcement bar or my rebar number 4. So I'm going to my rebar calculation. For my quantity, it says I have 3 runs, so my quantity needs to be 3, and my total linear footage happens to be 184 feet. That's what I got, and it comes out to 31 pieces, which is what I have on my audit trail as well as my scope of work. So everything is pretty much coming up daisies in this sense. So yeah, as long as you follow your audit trail and it matches your scope of work, you should be a-okay. There really shouldn't be a reason why you aren't getting this information. But I'm going to finish division 3 and let you see the finished product. All right, so this is where I left off on my division 3. As you can see, I no longer have any red boxes. All of my final answers match my scope of work and my audit trail. And how I got rid of my red boxes was I just clicked my mouse, highlighted my selection, and I came over here to this little bucket guy, and then I hit no fill. Okay, that's it. Very simple, very sweet. Then you are going to file, save as once you've completed all of your divisions. Okay, file, save as. You can save it on your desktop, you can save it in your documents, save it on your flash drive, however, wherever you're saving your projects at for this semester, or your work. You want to put your last name, this part is already filled in for you, CST 241, spring 2022, Excel file, and then the only other thing that you need to update is the date, and it needs to be the date that the project is due, okay? Not the date that you turned it in. May 9th, 2022. So that's what my file looks like, and I hit save. Now the title of my project on my Excel file has been updated. Okay, very simple, very easy. I did have a student question division 7 because there are some elements on here that may not be on your scope of work, or that you had to take off in your audit trail, and that's completely fine. Very viable question. So there was something in here about the build paper. So your building paper or your vapor barrier for your house portion is just your length and your height of your walls, okay? And you should already have that information for your external walls and your gable ends in division, I believe division 6A or division 6B, or it might be you have half in one and half in the other one. So you're just copying and pasting that information for your building paper, your rigid foam insulation, your blanket insulation, your vinyl siding, all of those answers should match, okay? I believe we've done some of this in Division 7 because it's thermal moisture. So the building paper might be the only thing that's not on there, and that should match your blanket insulation, your vinyl siding, and your rigid foam insulation, okay? So very, very simple, very easy, okay? No trick questions here. So hopefully that answered your Excel portion questions. You're using the answers from your audit trail to put into your Excel file and double checking that it matches your scope of work, okay? That's it. All right, fast forwarding to the next portion of this video, and that is how do you fold your final project or your final set of plans so that it can fit inside of your folder, or how you're supposed to turn it in? It's a very valid question, and I realized that we never went over it because typically that's something that we discuss on the first day when we're face to face. However, this semester we were completely online, so we did not get around to it. But how you're going to fold your plans is you're going to take one end and fold it like a hot dog. Okay. Then you're going to take one side, fold it back. Then you're going to flip it and fold the other side back. Okay. And then once you're holding your set of plans, you want to look at the portion that says revisions, that side, and you want to fold it down. Okay. That way it looks like a nice little 8x11 sheet of paper. Might be slightly bigger. But you also want to make sure that you have your last name, your course, and the semester written in the divisions. Obviously, it's not going to be fall 2021. It will be fall 2022, spring 2022. Your last name in CST 241 here. Then once you are done, you are going to put your, and this is just an example of one of my past students that actually got a very good grade as an example. So when I open it, I want to be able to see your set of plans with your name face side up immediately when I open it. Okay. Then when I flip it, I want to be able to see your scope of work followed by your audit trail, and everything is nice and neat. Okay. I can read it and it follows your scope of work. All right. I want all of your diagrams in there if you drew any. Scope of work followed by audit trail. Okay. Very organized. Very easy to follow. Audit trail. Scope of work, audit trail. It's okay if you don't have this many papers. Scope of work. Now, Division 6B is a little different because you're going to have your scope of work followed by your roofing sheets, which this paper should go before this paper, okay? So header with your totals first, then your roof map, okay? Then followed by your audit trail, scope of work, audit trail, scope of work. Division 8, remember, is the only one that does not require a green sheet. Division 9, scope of work, and then I have my audit trail pieces. Now, what you all will also need to turn in, and that's going to go at the end of your project, and that is going to be your practice project, okay? So after your final project, you also want to submit in your physically printed Excel sheets. If you can't physically print it, it's okay. I'm not going to be a stickler about it, but I would really rather see a physical copy of your Excel sheets as well as your digital, okay? And your Excel sheets will go right behind your written scope of work and handwritten audit trail. After your Excel in that portion, here, right behind it, or if your prongs are getting too big, you can put it in a little pocket. Here is going to be your in-class project. This guy, along with your section cuts, okay? Fold it up like a little hot dog, okay? And then inside, you want to put your lengths for your footing, your brick, and your CMU, as well as your practice project scope of works. So this was your Division 3, along with your Division 3 audit trail. Then we had Division 4, along with your audit trail. And I'm not 100% sure, because I can't quite remember since I wasn't physically in class with you, but I believe we figured out our lengths, and then you were supposed to go back and figure out what your CMU and brick numbers were after you completed Division 4 of your actual final project, because now you know the process. So make sure you have all of that information and you put it in your little pocket back here, or if you can, try to bind it. I wouldn't suggest binding it because then you're going to be poking holes in your plan, so I would just stick it in this little pocket, close it, make sure that your plans are right on top, and then make sure that your name, your last name, CST 241 in spring 2022 is written on the cover. And you all will be turning these in, I want to say, the CIT building. It would be CIT building, I think it's room 230 or something. Hold on, let me pause this and see if I can find it. All right, so I can't find the actual room number on anything, which is very bizarre, like not on any of my paperwork or anything. But you're going to drop it off in the CIT building. And it is going to be the last classroom closest to the doors that are mirroring the PCC houses that the BCT kids are building. It's the very, very last classroom before you get to those two double doors at the end of the hall. Hopefully you all would have had a class in there by now. If not, there is a there should be two classrooms side by side down there, and like I said, it is the very last one at the end of the hallway. I might put a box or something on the outside of the door sometime this weekend. That way you guys have somewhere to submit your final projects, and if not, if you want to leave them in the A.B. Whitley building with either Miss Woolard or Mr. Simpkins, they're the TAs over there, that is perfectly fine, and they'll make sure that I'll get it. Either way is fine. But it has been a pleasure working with you all this semester. Again, you know, we had some bumps and bruises, but hopefully we have worked them out by now. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you guys in person in the future. Talk to you later.